Good afternoon and welcome to sunny and 88 degrees Cranston West, the BRAYTON Athletic Softball Complex in Cranston, Rhode Island. It's another edition of Rhode Island High School softball. The Cranston West Falcons and the LaSalle Rams match us from our broadcast position just off of the home plate area. Joined today by Nick LeBlanc, who fresh out of the studio from his Titletown Throwdown show zipped his way over here to join us and call a softball game and another LaSalle Rams game for you.
It did about a good hour drive to calm down after yelling at the Celtics.
All sorts of things going on in Boston sports, and a lot of things that have been in the news, on the shows, all a part of Fans Only Sports Network. You can check all of that out, www.fansonlysportsportz.com. And we will get things started with the LaSalle Rams batting first in the white jerseys, maroon bottoms. It's going to be the center fielder, Darian McDonough, leading off. Ainsley Leahy will bat second. Ariana Rohde, the catcher, bats third. Olivia Gilbert, the first baseman, batting fourth. Katie Heenan, the shortstop, will bat fifth. Jaden Tanucci, the second baseman, batting sixth. Juliana Ilongo, third base, batting seventh. The pitcher, Lauren Morrissey, will bat eighth. And Grace Mercurio, the right fielder, will bat ninth, with Sophia DePippo, who had 10 straight strikeouts in the game against North Providence the other night, back in the circle for the Falcons. DePippo, first pitch, low for a ball. It works out to a 1-0 count. Thank you for tuning in this afternoon on Fans Only Sports Network. Today's game is brought to you by Odyssey Group International and by Prevacus. For more information, check out www.odysseygi.com. Swinging through for a strike there is McDonough, and it evens the count at 1-1. DePippo winds and fires in two straight strikes for DePippo, and the leading count now at 1-2.
Looked like to be back-to-back fastballs there. They had a little bit of zip on them.
DePippo is a pure fastball pitcher. At times will throw the rise ball in there, but she likes to drive it straight down the pike. Does once more. This one has a little timing on it by McDonough and is fouled off. Out towards the in between the mini field and the second field known as President Field, part of 4 fields here at the BRAYTON Athletic Complex. McDonough hits this one well out to left field. That will be caught and 1 out.
Got good metal on the pitch. Drived a little bit. The wind's blowing in. So is what made it easier for the left fielder to make the catch. Wind's blowing in a little bit.
Plucked by Ava Brandow out there in left field. And it brings up Ainsley Leahy, the left fielder. That wind blowing from behind our broadcast position on our backs, and feels kind of nice, actually.
Feels better.
And Leahy's squared there, trying to go for the slap bunt, and went through for a strike.
Tried to fool him with a little drag button to begin the at-bat, but her timing was just off.
Goes again and threw it for strike 2. So 2 straight times trying to go for that drag bunt there, and both times going through it. And DePippo has Leahy on an 0-2 count.
Leahy's swing reminds me of Ichiro Suzuki's a little bit.
Leahy does get this one on, and diving in to pluck it out of the air again is Brandow. 2 outs, 2 straight F7s.
That was a little bit easier. Again, hard hit, but really shallow, and the left fielder played perfectly.
And we'll bring a familiar name to LaSalle girls hockey fans. Ariana Rohde, the catcher for the LaSalle softball team, comes to the plate. Called her name a number of times during that championship series. The LaSalle Lady Rams winning the state championship in ice hockey earlier this year in a game, in a series set that you and I called that series.
She has a beautiful stick handle.
Trading the stick for the bat, and the glove is the catcher for this Rams team.
Made a bat, still technically a stick.
DePippo will look to wind and fire here. Called for a ball. And 3-0 the count, and first time today that DePippo has really fallen behind a hitter.
Pitchers are just missing the outside of the plate, not by much.
That one just paints the corner for a strike at 3-1, and Emily Durgan, notorious for framing the pitches, as she has had a little bit of a consternation with some of the strike zones that they've seen in the past couple of games. Little tip on that one will get to the foul territory. A lot of backspin on that.
It makes it a full count now, so important pitch coming up for both hitter and batter. Batter and pitcher. Oh, wow.
Heat getting to you already?
That in my hat and my sunglasses.
Payoff pitch. Wow. Got it right down the pike. Rohde didn't like it that much. DePippo is fired up. A strikeout sends her down, and so go the Rams. 1, 2, 3 in the top of the first. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. Will bring us to the bottom of the first, and the Cranston West Falcons to bat for the first time tonight, and we'll walk you through the lineup. It's going to be Emily Bassett, the second baseman, leading off. The catcher, Emily Durgan, will bat second. Her sister, that is Emily Bassett's sister, Mackenzie Bassett, will bat third at center fielder. The pitcher, Sophia DePippo, will bat fourth. Ava Brandow, the left fielder, batting fifth. And Brandow in the game against North Providence had 2 shots deep to the left field wall, one which plunked the 200-foot sign just below the home run line. If that was 5 inches higher, that ball would have been gone. Will bat in the 5th position. Brenna Whitaker, first baseman, batting in the 6th position. Sophia Crudale will bat 7th. Cadence Koenig gets a start today at the designated player position, will bat 8th. And then Emma Petrucci bats 9th. Samantha Healy is the flex player for the Falcons today. May see her potentially getting an at-bat or 2 in the spot of Koenig. Could also very well see Emily Eastman, and we saw her during the game against North Providence sub in at times to run for DePippo, which that is a releasable position, and so they're able to sub her in and not lose DePippo in the circle.
There's actually some weird MLB rule they want to test out, is that in the National League, if they, or really in baseball, you take out a starting pitcher, you lose your DH. Makes 0 sense.
See how that one goes. First ball, and again, a crushing curve from Emily Bassett. She's going to go into second, stand-up double, and starts the game off exactly deja vu the way she did against North Providence the other night.
Oh, that was a line drive hit. Left fielder had a good beat on it, but unfortunately it just went just overhead and went all the way to the wall for the double.
And that trademark hook where you think it's beating right straight out to the left fielder and then just hooks. And Durgan gets hit for the 2nd time in a row.
Wow.
She got hit on the knee last game. She gets hit up on the forearm this game, and the Falcons are in business right away, first and second. No outs with Mackenzie Bassett to bat.
Not a good way to start a game for a pitcher. 2 pitches, two ladies on.
And Bassett is going to take ball 1 for a strike. First pitch that did not get hit or hit a batter. Swings through and strike 2. Lauren Morrissey having a little bit of a rough start for the Rams in the circle today.
Still plenty of time to figure it out.
Swinging through, strike 3. And down goes Bassett on strikes for the first out of the inning. And it brings up the pitcher, Sophia DePippo.
Now that's a good feeling for a pitcher. Now you allow the first 2 people dead on base, and then you strike out the next batter on 3 pitches.
Goes low for ball 1. And that will paint the corner. And it's 1-1 to DePippo. Ava Brandow in the on-deck circle will bat next. That one's going to go way up and come down just behind the bleachers on the Falcons side of the field, and a 1-2 count to DePippo. Holding for it there was DePippo to even the count at 2-2, and Morrissey and both her and the catcher Ariana Rhodey thought that was.
I think that's pitch Rhodey got rung up on.
Goes high, DePippo strikes out. So 2 straight strikeouts by Morrissey after having some struggles on the first 2 batters. And with 2 outs, it brings up Ava Brandow.
And this is something that can really energize a pitcher. You allow the first 2 ladies get on base, then you come right back out and get the next 2-3 outs. It makes their day a lot easier.
Foul tip by Brandow for strike 1.
It's definitely settled in.
Gets Brandow to swing through for strike 2. Brandow crushes one, going way back, gone! Home run, Ava Brandow! A 3-run bomb to dead center field. Ava Brandow has jacked the Falcons to a 3-run lead.
On that, center fielder had a real good beat on it. That ball was crushed right off the bat, and the wind was able to push it just over the wall for the 3-run shot. And all of a sudden, Morrissey, who thought she could add the inning unscathed, and there's a 3 spot on the board.
Well, these Cranston West Falcons ladies are notorious for clipping game broadcasts into highlights, and I am sure that Ava Brandow is going to be clipping that one tonight for her Twitter page. She rifled that one.
Also a highlight video.
And here's Brenna Whitaker, the first baseman, comes up to bat with a 3-0 lead and fouls off the first one for a strike. And chatting with Brenna Whitaker before the game, and she was remarking about how the fact that we started broadcasting the games even though late in the season has actually been her favorite part of the season. She has gone home and watched the games after we've done the broadcasts. She walked up as soon as we got here this afternoon. She comes up and goes, "I'm so happy you guys are here." Whitaker pops this one a mile high by third base, and it's caught finally by the shortstop, Katie Heenan, for an F6 and the third out of the inning. But in all of that, while no runners are left on base, they plate 3 runs on 2 hits. No errors and nobody left on as we head to the top of the second, and the home run by Ava Brandow. Just an absolute bomb right to the left of the 200 sign in center field.
Oh, yeah, that ball is crushed right off the bat. You could just hear bat to ball in perfect sync. And I think the wind helped to push it out just a bit. This wind is blowing out.
And if you're Sophia DePippo, as the pitcher heading back into the circle now, you have got to be feeling a little bit more relaxed and relieved having that 3 spot get put on the board.
Yeah, but that can also hurt a pitcher too, really, in softball and really in traditional baseball too, is that a pitcher can get relaxed. They start missing location, and then all of a sudden, a 3-0 cushy lead turns into a 3-run deficit.
So we'll see what they can do here in the second inning. The Rams will have Olivia Gilbert to bat first, Katie Heenan second, and then Jaden Tanucci will come up batting third, as a few fans have straggled their way into the Brayton complex outfield territory behind the wall, and that ball, that home run ball, hit right where there is a very good portion of fans hanging out there in center field. So they got a nice chance to catch a home run ball. Got to hand it back, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, not like MLB where you actually get to keep it.
Sox put a 5 spot on the Yankees last night to win 5-2.
The sentence last out, that was an ugly swing. But the ball bounced in front of the plate.
And Gilbert one just goes outside.
Being better start this time around for the Sox and the Yankees compared to last year. They went 1-9 against New York last year.
And 2-0 count. Foul tip. That one's heading way back. And that's the first strike. Rolls one in, and a 3-1 count to Gilbert.
Cranston West already have somebody in the bullpen.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is either just exhaustion on DePippo's part or if she's having battle with the sun. I mean, she did pitch the other night against North Providence, and now DePippo surrenders a walk there, and a rare walk for her as well. And they probably have sent Gigi Torres. I can't directly see behind me, and it is
Torres.
It is the freshman phenom Gigi Torres, who has gone into the bullpen and is now making her initial throws and warming up. So we may potentially see Gigi Torres entering into this game, and maybe DePippo just has hit the end of the gas tank. This is the third game in a span of about 5 days. And all things being softball, we normally see pitchers who can pitch day. You just kind of wonder.
Yeah, I mean, fatigue at some point becomes a factor because that's a lot of pitches we're throwing in a short amount of time.
As Heenan has worked a 2-0 count here, and DePippo in danger of another. Gets a strike there and sets it to 2-1.
I mean, it's one thing if you're a reliever and you're pitching 1 inning at a time, then you can pitch 3 out of 5 nights. If you're a starter, though, pitching 3 times in a 5-day span, yeah, your arm's going to get tired.
And that one is a mile-high pop that will be caught by the catcher, Emily Durgan. So an F2 brings the first out of the inning, and Jaden Tanucci will come to bat.
Got the outside part of the plate there for the first strike.
A leading count. It's low for ball 1. Takes the count to 1-1. Gilbert on first by a walk. Heenan flew out to the catcher for 1 out. Tanucci fouls this one back in a 1-2 count. Rams have Juliana Iolongo in the on-deck circle. Pitcher Lauren Marcy would follow her if they do not get 2 straight outs.
Torres ramping up.
DePippo put that one right down the pike.
Torres increasing up her velocity in there now.
She is a fastball pitcher, and we mean fast. Seeing her pitch an inning the other night against the Moses Brown Quakers, we felt like we wanted to have a radar gun on here, as that's a foul tip all the way back from Iolongo in the first strike. Thought we wanted to have a radar gun on her because of how fast the pitches were coming in. She does sometimes have a little bit of control issues, and still working that out, though. As a freshman, here's the one right to the fence, and Brenna Whitaker trying to go for it, ran out of real estate.
I didn't think she realized the fence was right there. She seemed surprised by the fence.
Yeah, and that is not a padded fence like you see sometimes in Major League stadiums. That is a chain link fence, and that will hurt immensely if you crash into it. That one's going to be lined to third, pops up to the shortstop. Splitting but can't get it was Whitaker.
Well, misplay by the third baseman. Shortstop bails her out and delivered a great throw off to first. Unfortunately, just wasn't in time.
So we'll call it a hit.
Should go down as a hit.
Yeah, not really anything there that was an error by Petrucci. So, it kind of just pinged up off of Petrucci's glove, bounces over to the shortstop Crudale, who then whipped it to Whitaker and tried to get there. I apologize. That actually might be Samantha Healy out there at third.
Down the pipe.
Got one right down the pike. It's weird because Rhode Island doesn't have a turnpike, so you can't call it like, down the turnpike.
Yeah. One thing about Rhode Island, though, lots and lots of highways.
Lots of highways. Nothing to find. The Massachusetts Turnpike does come a bit into Rhode Island, so you can adopt that. This one's going to be popped up. Shortstop Crudale tracking back. She lost it. Brandow has to come in from left field to get it. She does. And the side goes down finally. So Morrissey records the third out of the inning. And it is no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on as we head to the bottom of the second. We'll take a quick commercial break. You're watching Rhode Island High School softball on Fans Only Sports Network. Welcome back as we get ready for bottom of the second action. And it's going to be Sophia Crudale to get started. Falcons lead 3-0 on the home run by Ava Brandow. A 3-run shot to center field in the bottom of the first. Crudale drops one down. That's going to go right back to the pitcher, and she's going to be sent back to the bench. 2-3 in the first out of the inning.
Last softball game I did when I was still in college, 43 combined runs.
That has to be a record.
Sadly, it was 2. Both teams had 9-run leads at one point.
Wow. That's an interesting situation.
The other sad part, too, was that it was a doubleheader.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
First pitch outside to Candace Koenig. Is a ball.
Me and Fans Only owns Devin Teledani called that one. We're retired.
Devin Telegani, host of The Clutch on our sister network. As Koenig is going to loop that one to left field, but it will drop down. We're going to have 7 on the first out of the inning. Brings up the right fielder, Emma Petrucci.
Two quick outs from Morrissey this inning. She looks a lot more calm after that first. That's just low.
Low gives a couple of balls to Petrucci. swung through that one for a strike.
That ball had a little bit of zip and sink to it.
It's a 2-1 count to Petrucci with 2 outs in the inning. And Petrucci swings through for strike 3. Oh, 2-2. My apologies. I'm one ahead of myself.
So he getting to you now too?
Maybe. Now she swings through for strike 3, and that will send us to the end of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We head to the top of the third. Falcons lead 3-0. And we will take a quick break and be right back. You're watching Rhode Island High School Softball presented by Odyssey Group International on Fans Only Sports Network.
Pharmaceutical company Prevacus says their new concussion medication Prevacol helps repair nerves and promote cell growth.
We can get the drug in the brain in less than 5 minutes. And our plan is when we get that diagnosis on the field of play, give the drug nasally, get it in the brain quickly. When it gets in the brain, it actually gets into the nucleus of your brain cells, and it reduces swelling, inflammation, and oxidative stress at the same time.
When Jake and I first talked about this many years ago, one of my first questions was, will this help me? And he goes, no, this is for treatment immediately when a concussion or you think a concussion has occurred.
Yeah.
The acute problems that exist later on in life, if we can take care of these at an early age and start getting some of these things to our children and grandchildren, and I think we can make this game, our game, football, a safer place.
And so the whole goal is we're trying to make we're trying to make the game safer. And so Odyssey and this.
As we are back and underway here, top of the third inning, and it is the right fielder Grace Mercurio.
Saw some bullpen action going on last inning behind us.
And it is Gigi Torres still in the bullpen. That's 1-1.
Lindsay Brindle for LaSalle. She was in the bullpen behind us warming up. Or I should say the field.
The field that is one of 4 fields in this complex is DePippo gets that one fouled off for a strike and sets it 1-2.
The field behind us will be our acting bullpen.
Foul tip again. So the count stays at 1-2.
Thank God for the fence and the little advertisement here.
Oh, of course. You're always going to have the backstops in the areas. So nothing to worry about there.
Right down the
Strike
middle.
3 called, and down goes Mercurio.
Right down the pipe at the knees, too, for a called third strike. Torres is coming out of the bullpen.
As Gigi Torres trots behind our broadcast position, DePippo continues on to work here, and it's Darian McDonough for the second time. This one is popped high into the left field foul territory. Brandow brings it down. Have 7 and 2 outs. And Darian McDonough has flown out to left field twice now. And that's going to bring Ainsley Leahy to bat for the second time today. She flew out to left field in the first inning. Leahy taking a drag there. Ball was in the dirt.
Trying dead on base the quick way with the drag bunt to force the third baseman and the pitcher in.
Drag there and threw for a strike. And it's going to be 1-1. Carried through and called for a strike.
Healy's playing the third base line real tight. She's ready for the drag bunt. She's expecting contact soon. Just depends if Leahy's going to be able to do it.
Slap down to the shortstop, thrown, and it's misfired. Gets past Whitaker. Heading to second is going to be Leahy, so it's going to be a single and an error. Then E6, call it in the first error of the game, sends Leahy to second.
Now that's difficult for a shortstop. Routine ground ball, and you overthrow the first baseman.
It's going to bring Ariana Rohde to bat for the second time tonight. She struck out last time up and was not too happy with the strikeout call, as well as that's going to go in first pitch for a ball.
She had a 3-0 count too, her last at bat.
Up high for ball 2.
Deja vu, possibly?
Should Ariana Rohde get on, Jaden Tanucci would bat next. Outside and 3-0.
Deja vu a little bit.
Here is your deja vu, perhaps.
Now 3 straight strikes.
Rohde does sit up top, and that one went down for a strike. And she went on her way towards first.
That's the second time she's thinking, it's like, really?
She does sit kind of like on top of the edge of the batter's box, and I mean, she is a big player.
Yep.
So it gives a lot of space. This one's going to come up way high, and it's going to be caught by Whitaker. An F3 and the third out. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on. And we head to the bottom of the third, and it's Falcons still leading the Rams 3-0.
Salle Rams are being stifled right now by DePippo. She's locating her pitches properly, and she's really keeping the LaSalle Rams on their heels.
So for the Falcons, in the bottom half of the third here, they will have the top of the order with Emily Bissett, Emily Durgan, and Mackenzie Bissett.
Morrissey's still on the mound so far for the Rams, entering her third inning of work.
Yeah, so Lauren Morrissey continues forward. Emily Bissett had the double to lead off in the first. Durgan got hit by the pitch and took first, moving Bissett to second. And then it was the home run by Ava Brandow over the center field fence that plated Bissett and Durgan and gave the Falcons the 3-0 lead.
$88 today will probably be 58 degrees tomorrow.
So has been the weather around here. It's been kind of crazy.
It's no New England weather for you.
Bassett settles in. That one goes low for a ball. Bassett rifles one through the gap out into left field, and she's on base with a single this time.
Good piece of hitting here, not trying to do anything too fancy. She lined it down the left field line the first time for the double. This time just finds the gap between the third base and shortstop. Gets on base for their second hit of the day.
And it's going to bring the catcher, Emily Durgan, to the plate. Hit by pitch last time up. This one's going to pop way high and come about 6 feet behind me. And a strike one.
No, it's coming up near me. I'm trying to block the camera.
Down low and a ball one, and Bassett thinking about it for a second with a strong lead there.
Beautiful day for softball.
Beautiful day is correct.
Hit again.
And she got hit for the second time.
Third time in a row, you said.
Well, it was not her last at bat in the game. It was just in the last game she got hit by a pitch. So this is 3 at bats in the last 2 games that she has been hit by a pitch.
Rub some dirt on her. She'll be fine.
Her facial expression, though, in the North Providence game when she got plunked on the knee, she kind of was like, she was like, and it was kind of funny because the umpire actually took a moment to say something to her, and she kind of just like looked at him like, what? And then went on with her proceedings of heading. It was like, she wasn't mad. She just kind of was like, you hit me in the knee.
I mean, I'd be a little upset that I got hit in the knee. Vital part of the leg.
As a catcher especially, you don't want getting hit there. Pass ball, and that's going to send Bassett to third. Will trot Durgan to second.
Base hit to score 2.
Kenzie Bassett struck out her last time up. This one's going to get rifled to center field, and holding for a second, coming back. It's an errant throw. It's going to be enough to get him home. Bassett's going to score. Durgan's going to go to third on the error.
Good play by the center fielder, but really bad throw in there. And it now costs LaSalle a 4th run. Goes an unearned run and an error.
So
E8.
The E8 on the F8. So Bassett is out. The other Bassett, Emily, scores, and Durgan goes to third. And DePippo comes to the plate to bat. Strike one.
A little high out of the zone there. DePippo had to chase it up. The ball also had some pretty good zip to it, too.
DePippo's going to rifle that one, but way foul. And down in the count 0-2.
She was just late on it, too. She timed it up perfectly, just late on the swing.
Doubleheader lacrosse action coming up tomorrow afternoon. as it's strike 3, and we will get back to that in a moment.
Right at the letters, too, on the outside part of the plate.
As DePippo goes down on strikes, and it's going to bring up Ava Brandow. Brandow had the 3-run home run over the center field wall in the first inning that got us to 3-0. Up high for ball 1. Doubleheader lacrosse action coming up tomorrow afternoon from the Nest at Cranston West High School. It's going to be the Cranston East Thunderbolts taking on Tiverton in girls lacrosse action. Following that will be the Cranston West Falcons boys lacrosse team in action against North Kingstown. Girls lacrosse starts at 5:30. Boys lacrosse starting at 7:15. Right here on Fans Only Sports Network. Brandow will get this one to the second baseman and will be caught for an out and end the inning. But the Falcons plate one more on the throwing error. So 1 run, 1 hit, and 2 left on. All right, my apologies, 1 left on. 1 left on. But it's 4-0 Falcons after 3. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Rhode Island High School softball on Fans Only Sports Network.
Drugs, we believe, can be a game changer. A game changer in so many different ways. Yes, on the football field, in the game of football, because that's where my passion lies, but also in the game of life.
We're back at the Brayton Athletic Softball Complex here in Cranston, Rhode Island. And we're ready for 4th inning action. Rams trailing the Falcons 4-0, and Olivia Gilbert to bat. And that one
It hit her?
may have hit Gilbert in the foot.
I
Guess hit.
didn't see the ball hit her at all.
Yeah. Right. Interesting situation there, but call it a hit by pitch.
Phantom hit by pitch.
Did something, and Gilbert's on first, and it'll be Katie Heenan to bat. Outside for ball 1. Jaden Tanucci in the on-deck circle for the Rams. Juliana Ilongo will follow her. There are no outs in the inning. This one's going to get rifled and inside of the line. Long hit to left field and a single for Katie Heenan.
Wow. That was hit right down the line. Could have had a chance for 2.
So
LaSalle in business, though. 2 ladies on.
Gilbert goes to second. Heenan at first on the single to left field, and it brings Jaden Tanucci to the plate. Rams had 2 on base in the second inning and couldn't do anything with it. Swinging through that one, foul tip is Tanucci in strike 1.
Now's a chance to try to get back into this ball game. It's only the 4th and you're down by 4, but time's already running out quick.
In for a strike and an 0-2 count. That one's going to go right to the shortstop. It's going to get through. Brandau's going to bobble it out in left field, but gets it back in before anybody comes further. So it's a single by Tanucci, moving Heenan to second, Gilbert to third, and the sacks are loaded for Juliana Iolongo with no outs, and a dangerous situation now for the Falcons.
Yeah, this is really the first time the Pippos really had a lot of traffic on the bases.
This one's going to get popped up. Whitaker will peel off for a second, and it will be caught by the second baseman, Emily Bassett. So an F4 and 1 out in the inning. And it brings the pitcher, Lauren Morrissey. Actually not. It's going to bring a pinch hitter up, and that's going to be Claire Boulanger, number 2.
Looks like Morrissey's day on the mound just might be over.
Oh, they do have the re-entry rule.
Yep.
They do have re-entry rules as well, and we've seen that happen where they've just wanted to go for maybe a potentially better bat in a way. So they're going to bring Claire Boulanger into bat for Morrissey.
I mean, her day could be done on the mound.
We have seen them warming up a pitcher.
No action in either pen.
And Boulanger fouls off the first pitch, strike 1.
The Falcon and Ram bullpens are inactive. Maybe Torres is in there just to get her arm loose, just as a little side session.
Right through, but a little high, and it's going to be 1-1. Bases still loaded with 1 out. That one's going to go through, and it's going to be foul as it hits off of the left field foul territory fencing, and a 1-2 count to Boulanger, batting in the spot normally occupied by the pitcher, Lauren Morrissey.
Big opportunity for the Rams to try to get something on the scoreboard.
Trailing 4-0 here in the 4th inning. DePippo gets that one down the pike for strike 3. Boulanger is the second out of the inning.
Pippo's an out away from getting out of this.
And it's going to bring Grace Mercurio to bat. So after a hit by pitch and then a single and then another single, and it looks like now they're going to make another substitution here quickly and bring in Riley Chartier 0-2 pinch hit for Mercurio. And we'll see if Chartier stays in the game, so it could be a few substitutions coming up for the Rams defensively here in the bottom of the fourth. Outside for ball one.
DePippo's just 3 strikes away from staying out of this bases loaded, nobody out situation. And it'll be a real shame if the Rams cannot scratch across at least one.
Rams had 2 on base in the second, 1 on in the third. DePippo got out of both of those jam situations as she has the count at 1-1. 3 left on base by the Rams total in this game. Not plating a single run. Just outside for ball 2. Durgan framed that one.
Yeah, she framed to try and death the call. Umpire said, not this time. Miscommunication among the umpires.
Just checking the count, and they are correct. It is 2 balls, 1 strike. But it's a bit of a late time, and DePippo is starting to set. She comes through, checking for it. Durgan's going to want to call. They're going to say no, and then she looks back at the home plate umpire.
Hey, he checked with the other guy. He covered his bases. It's hard calling balls and strikes.
3-1, and a crucial pitch gets it down for the full count. And DePippo is a payoff pitch away from bailing out.
Got a swing.
3-2, bases loaded, 2 outs.
She has to take a swing here.
Strike 3, she put it in the hole.
Right down the pipe, too.
Sophia DePippo, 2 straight strikeouts, and she leads the bases loaded.
Charity, she did not get the bat off her shoulder. She let it go right through her at the knees, right down Broadway.
No runs, 2 hits, no errors. Rams lead 3 on base and keep it. The Falcons defense does 4-0 headed to the bottom of the fourth.
Wow.
Brenna Whitaker will lead it off. Sophia Crudale will bat second. Candace Koenig will be third. But Sophia DePippo, 2 straight strikeouts to close out the inning on a 3-2 with bases loaded.
And the pitch was right down Broadway. I don't know what Cherry was staring at. It was right down Broadway. And DePippo, too, it made even more impressive that the bases got loaded with no one out. And she gets out of it. That's impressive stuff.
So for Lauren Morrissey, her day is done in the circle. It will be number 22, Lindsay Brandow, replacing Morrissey in the circle.
Cherry is out in left field. No, right field. She stays in.
Yeah, they break out all the things. That's Riley Chartier, who replaced Mercurio. So Chartier takes the place out in right field.
I don't think Morrissey's out there defensively.
Morrissey is not out there defensively. Her day is completely done.
Barn re-entry.
Though we have seen pitchers go out for an inning and come back in. That is that rule to play. And we get the proceedings started with the first baseman, Brenna Whitaker, flew out to the shortstop back in the first inning for a strike.
The Falcons could put this game away this inning.
foul ball off of the light post.
Good thing the light post is there.
That one hit right off of the light post and then down on top of the roof of the Rams dugout. Got a nice chuckle from Whitaker. Up high for ball one. There's your highlight reel, Brenna. You can clip that one tonight when you watch the game. Hitting the foul pole. Hitting off of the light stanchion on a foul ball. Swings through for strike three. So Whitaker goes down for the first out of the inning.
I don't think that's something we'll put on the highlight reel. Now, if it was off the right field foul pole, then you can put it on.
Is that a Sports Center Friday funny? I guess maybe that one.
I think it would have been funny if glass came raining down.
And it's Sophia Crudale bats second and strike one.
Almost like you'd see it down at Tropicana Field.
It's going to be ball two. And a 1-1 count. Crudell's going to send that one down the third base line, coming up with it, trying to leg it out. But she does not. So 5-3 sends Crudell down for the second out of the inning. And it'll bring Candace Koenig to the plate.
Rams could use a quick inning here, try to get back into the dugout and get the bats going.
Koenig swings through strike one. Emma Petrucci is in the on-deck circle should she get on. Little dirt devil scooping up there for a second.
Ball's in the dirt.
1-1 count. Ball down in the dirt again, 2-1. Rams will have Darian McDonough, Ainsley Leahy, Ariana Rohde to start the fifth. This one is going to go and drop down in shallow right, and Koenig has a single.
She had to go down and chase for that one, and then it just blooped in there in shallow right field for a hit.
And Emma Petrucci will come to bat with 1 on and 2 outs. Petrucci pops one up. That's going to stay in play right at third base. Petrucci flies out F5, and that will bring the proceedings of the fourth inning to a close. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on. Falcons continue to lead this game 4-0 as we head to the top of the fifth, and we will take a short break. You're watching Rhode Island High School softball on Fans Only Sports Network, presented by Odyssey Group International and by Prevacus.
Pharmaceutical company Prevacus says their new concussion medication Prevacol helps repair nerves and promote cell growth.
We can get the drug in the brain in less than 5 minutes. And our plan is when we get that diagnosis on the field of play, give the drug nasally, get it in the brain quickly. When it gets in the brain, it actually gets into the nucleus of your brain cells, and it reduces swelling, inflammation, and oxidative stress at the same time.
When Jake and I first talked about this many years ago, one of my first questions was, will this help me? And he goes, no, this is for treatment immediately when a concussion or you think a concussion has occurred.
Yeah.
The acute problems that exist later on in life, if we can take care of these at an early age and start getting some of these things to our children and grandchildren, and I think we can make this game, our game, football, a safer place.
And so the whole goal is we're trying to make the game safer. And so Odyssey and this drug, we believe, can be a game changer in so many different ways. Yes, on the football field, in the game of football, because that's where my passion lies, but also in the game of life.
As we welcome you back to the Brayton Athletics Complex, the main stadium field of 4, Cranston West Falcons leading the LaSalle Rams 4-0 as we head to the top of the 5th. And it's the top of the lineup with Darian McDonough and catcher Emily Durgan having a conversation with the umpire in between innings regarding the substitution rule, as we saw Claire Boulanger came in and pinch hit for the pitcher, Lauren Morrissey. Then they pulled Boulanger and put in the pitcher. They pulled Boulanger, put in Lindsay Brandow as the pitcher, and then all sorts of other things occurring there. But one way or another, all sorted out, and they are set and good. First ball's fouled off for a strike. That one is framed. Durgan wanted it badly. And it's 1-1.
Durgan, she's been framing a lot of pitches for DePippo, and hopefully an umpire's not budging on a majority of them. Making DePippo earn her outs. There you go.
Holds that one and gets the strike call in 1-2.
Didn't need to frame that one. That was right down Broadway.
I want to thank everyone for tuning in this afternoon on Fans Only Sports Network. You can check out more Rhode Island High School sports action live and also available on demand. www.fansonlysports.com.
That's the second ball that got lost in the tree.
Select the very large Watch Live button in the upper right-hand corner, and or select live streaming from the menu bar at the top of the site, and you can be able to view games available on demand. And all of our live stream podcast shows as well, too. The count is even at 2-2 to Darian McDonough. Center fielder is 0 for 2, 2 flyouts to left field. McDonough sends this one up the gap between second and short, and she has a single, her first hit of the game.
Well, the Rams, they need to do something offensively here. They left the bases loaded last inning. You gotta try to stretch across a run or two here.
That one's going to come through a little bit low. It's going to be ball 1.
Rams making some noise in the dugout, trying to pump up their team.
Down 4-0 here in the top of the 5th. That one's going to be fouled off, and even the count at 1-1. Up high, called for ball 3. My apologies, a little bit behind on our count, and now DePippo in a trouble situation again.
Lady's been trying to drop the drag bunt down all game, and she hasn't found a pitch.
That one's going to go off of the third baseman's glove. That's Gigi Torres out there at third base now. And we're going to just say, because of the beat on it, it looked like a hit. So that's another single.
Yeah, she was able to knock it down. The ball also hit the base and just went underneath her glove.
So that puts Ainsley Leahy on first. Darian McDonough goes to second, and with no outs, Ariana Rhodey bats. And are the Rams in deja vu or are the Falcons in deja vu?
I think a little bit of both.
Both. Here we go again, perhaps.
I mean, if you're LaSalle and you get the bases loaded here at the end of the fifth and you don't score, it's bad when you go bases loaded back-to-back innings and you can't score. Gotta try to stretch across a run or two here.
Up high.
I think the Pippo likes the high-pressure situations. I don't think her coach does, but it's working for her.
That one's going to be fouled. Right at the third base coaching box. Sets the count at 2-1. We have Olivia Gilbert and Katie Heenan following. Rhodey struck out in the first, flew out to the first baseman in the second. Up high, ball 3.
Dern, she continues to trying to sell them. I need a new marketing strategy.
Fouled back, and it brings the count full at 3-2.
That went to the field right behind us. Went down the right field line for a double.
It'll send Samantha Healy for a little trot from the Falcons bench. Payoff pitch here at 3-2. Foul tip, and they'll do it again.
Well, this is something that the Rams haven't really done most of the day. They've made the Pippo work, but they haven't really strung together a lot of consistently good at-bats. This is a good at-bat. You continue to do that, the Pippo might eventually miss her location. She has a few times, but hasn't costed her yet.
This one's going to be popped way up high, chasing over to the left field wall in foul territory was Brandow, but unable to get it. So 3-2, and we do it again.
Had some height to it. She's got to straighten that out. She has that pitch timed up. Now she just has to get barrel to ball.
Continuing to foul off pitches. And DePippo's going all the way down the schedule here. DePippo delivers, gets her to pop one all the way out to left field. Gone! And it's all of a sudden a 3-run jack for Ariana Rhodey, and this game is 4-3.
Off the bat, I don't think Rhodey had got much on this, but the wind picked it up and carried it over the left field wall. And Rhodey, and we saw her in hockey season, has excellent hand-eye coordination with the stick. Excellent barrel to ball there. She drives it out of the yard for a 3-run shot. And just like that, the Rams are back in this.
So 2 3-run homers, 1 on each side. Brandow plated 3 on a home run for the Falcons in the first. Rhodey plates a 3-run home run for the Rams in the 5th. And this game is back for 3 with no outs in the inning and Olivia Gilbert to bat. Strike one. That'll shake you as a pitcher. That shit shakes your core.
Similarly how Morrissey started her day. First two men dead on, and then the 3-run jack.
The interesting scenario to this here is going to be, and she hits Gilbert.
Oh.
They're going to say it hit the butt of the bat.
Hit the knob.
So they call it hitting the butt of the bat.
Saying hit the knob of the bat.
Yeah, and that's so an 0-2 instead. This one's going to get popped up. Torres thought for a second. She gets waved off. Catching it is going to be the shortstop, Sophia Crudale. So it's going to be an F6, and one out finally recorded as Katie Heenan comes up.
You know, you thought DePippo could possibly go the distance if she kept the score at 0 for her. But you can imagine this might be her last inning. She's had to work this in. She's had to throw a lot of pitches this inning and last inning.
And the situation ends up being for the Falcons, if they were to bring someone in to the circle, they would have to do it from the field, because bringing Gigi Torres in to third base, all of their pitchers are on the field right now.
Oh, jeez.
Gigi Torres is at third. Brenna Whitaker is at first. Ava Brandow is out in left field. The only other pitchers that they have is Gabrielle Cunha and Paige Coate, who I believe Cunha is the only one that's actually active on the roster today.
Oh, boy.
So they could bring Gabriella Cunha in as the pitcher, or they're going to have to make a double substitution and bring somebody in from the field. Because, to put it mildly, with Whitaker or Brandow, you don't necessarily want to eliminate those bats, as that one's going to be sent way out into the field. So to what I was saying, you don't want to eliminate the Brenna Whitaker or Ava Brandow.
Yeah, no, you don't want to eliminate the bats, but at some point, DePippo's arm is going to get extremely tired. You're going to have to switch out.
Yeah.
You might have to put DePippo at like first or third base.
And swings through for strike 3. So she has gotten 2 straight outs now. And 2 outs brings Jaden Tanucci to bat. Possibility could be, because Sam Healy is their flex player, what they could do is bring Sam Healy into third base and then bring Gigi Torres to the circle to pitch. Swinging through, and a little bit of a foul tip that went off of the mask of Durgan. DePippo is going to work out of this inning, it seems.
Yeah, probably just eat an inning and gives the coach a little bit of extra time to figure out what he's going to do.
But she did surrender the home run, the 3-run home run, to Ariana Rhodey, and brought this game to 4-3.
I'll be shocked if she comes back out. I'll be shocked if she comes out to pitch next inning. Because her arm has to be tired by now. She threw a lot of pitches in the 4th inning and has thrown a lot of pitches here in the 5th.
Gets that through for a strike in 1 and 2.
Durgan framed that pitch again that time, and she got the call.
Coming to the top of the 5th, it's the top of the order for the Falcons. Again, they will have Emily Bissett, Emily Durgan, Mackenzie Bissett. Swinging through and getting the strikeout is DePippo. So after surrendering the home run, DePippo gets them 1, 2, 3. But a big inning for the Rams. 3 runs on 2 hits. On 3 hits. No errors and no one left on. And we head to the bottom of the 5th, and we'll take a quick commercial break. You're watching Rhode Island High School softball on Fans Only Sports Network. We're back and set for bottom of the 5th. And it's Emily Bissett. Double in the first. Got on base by in the third. Foul tip there. Brings the count to 1-1. Swings through for strike 2. Emily Durgan will bat second. Mackenzie Bissett will bat third in the inning as what was 4-0 lead for the Falcons is evaporated to 4-3. That one's going to be foul. A lot of softball action this weekend. College World Series happening. Some shocks as that one bounces in and evens the count 2-2. James Madison University out of the Colonial Athletic Association.
Jeez.
My alma mater, Drexel University, part of that. Of course, we lost. We lost to James Madison in the conference tournament. James Madison went to the College World Series by beating Drexel. Like, come on. And now James Madison beats Texas, beat Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. And there's going to be a legged out walk for Bissett.
I forget the name of, I already forget her name, but I read this morning. The Alabama pitcher last night, on her 21st birthday, threw a perfect game.
That's a great way. But
great way to celebrate. The College World Series, to throw no hitter, lethal to drink.
And that's going to go for a strike in 0-1 to Emily Durgan. But the JMU Dukes are having a Cinderella story in Oklahoma City for the College World Series. I almost said Omaha, which is the men's baseball College World Series. Get the O's confused there, but in Oklahoma City. So see how that one continues on. Of course, my heart personally is with the UCLA Bruins. My friend Kirk Walker is one of the assistant coaches, the third base coach for the Bruins.
Favoritism.
Little shout out for my friends.
I'm only busting.
That one's fouled back. A 2-strike count. But it was great to see college softball World Series. This one's going to go way out into left field, and it's going to go foul. It was great to see softball, and that being College World Series action, on network television on ABC, not on ESPN2, not on ESPNU, on ABC network television. And it's great for all these young players coming up, whether it be in the Bombers program, the Velocity program, Rhode Island Thunder, the high school players, being able to see those talented players in the College World Series on network television. And it's great for the game of softball going into the Olympics next month, where softball returns for the first time since, I think, the Sydney Games in 2008. Or 2000, my apologies. I'm going to go you'll get my years off.
You should always see softball at the Olympics. You will never see baseball. You will never see it.
But yeah, baseball is back this year as well, too.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And Cuba will not be in the Olympics. They got eliminated by Canada in qualifiers. So the Cuban baseball team is not going to Tokyo. That's kind of a shock.
Yeah, and 25% of MLB players are from Cuba.
Yeah, I mean, Cuba baseball was like, that was it.
Huge.
This one's going to be fouled off, and Durgan working the count here.
I can understand if you're a country, just saying losing Canada in ice hockey, but baseball?
Kind of, yeah.
Especially the Canadians of all of them. No disrespect to the Canadians. Great job for them, but seriously.
Durgan fouls that one through, and it's caught by the catcher, and strike 3 sends Durgan down in the first out of the inning. That's going to bring Mackenzie Bissett to bat 0 for 2 on the day. Strike out in the first inning, flew out to center in the third, but then the throwing error allowed Emily Bissett to get around and score. That was the 4th run of the game and the last one that the Falcons have scored. At the time, gave them a 4-0 lead before the 3-run shot by Ariana Rhodey brought us to 4-3.
I feel bad for Cuba. Like, they have so much talent on that, and all of them are going to be in the big leagues within the next couple of years, at least.
This one's going to go right back to the pitcher, and that will take care of that one. An easy 2-3 sends Bissett down, and that ends the inning as they get the double play, catching up Mackenzie Bissett for the 3rd out. So technically, they go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on, and we head to the bottom of the 5th for 3. For the LaSalle Rams, coming up in the inning, they'll have Juliana Ialongo to lead off Lauren Morrissey. They'll hit in the spot that was occupied by Lauren Morrissey, was Claire Boulanger, but it looks like they will have either the pitcher who came in for her, Lindsay Brandow, bat there, or they'll pinch hit. We'll see how that one gets sorted out.
The Pippo's coming back out. Wow.
And then Riley Chartier will bat 3rd as DePippo comes back out in a car horn going off out in the right field territory.
There you go. They got it.
Not as annoying as the ice cream truck that we had at a football game in Connecticut that kept on playing the La Cucaracha song just over and over again on a loop for like the whole second quarter of the game.
Oh, God.
And I mean, it was just absolutely, that wasn't as bad.
Oh, gee, that had to be annoying. I can't imagine that.
So we go here in the top of the 6th, 4-3 Falcons over the Rams. And, right off of the top of the mask of Durgan.
Appears to be okay.
That you could hear the crack on that one. I mean, that was a fastball coming in from DePippo that just cracked right off of the top of Durgan's mask.
She looks all right. I don't know what the mask is.
That's what the mask's for. And these catcher masks that they're wearing have gotten a lot better and better over the years. I mean, now we see them, they look like hockey goaltender masks that they're wearing, and the amount of padding that's gotten put into it, it is designed really to protect these players. And you can see the foam padding, and I mean, almost a double layer of foam padding that is on the bottom side of that mask, and then of course all the air pocketing that gets put in, and so designed,
very safe helmet.
Yeah, designed for that exact reason. Foul tip.
Timing's just a bit off. I'm very surprised that Pippo's out right now.
Pippo,
she's throwing a lot of pitches.
Having struggled through the last 2 innings, and that one she's going to get for a strikeout.
She needs a quick inning.
So quickly down on strikes goes Ialongo, and it's going to bring up the pitcher, and that's going to be number 22, Lindsey Brandow, who they pinch hit for Lauren Marcy with Claire Boulanger. And now they're going to bring in to that spot Lindsey Brandow, who came in to pitch.
And the Rams got something that's thrown up in the bullpen. Jaden Tanucci.
They do actually have Jaden Tanucci up in the bullpen. Tanucci is in the game currently at second base.
Probably a switch.
So they're going to looks like they might keep her in and switch her over.
Surprised the Falcons haven't done that with DePippo yet.
DePippo winds and fires here. Got it on the outside, said she went, and it's a strikeout.
Pippo needs a real quick inning here.
So 2 straight strikeouts. And it's going to bring Riley Chartrier.
Chartrier struck out a payoff pitch, struck out looking, bases loaded, did not get the bat off her shoulders.
And Chartrier came in to bat for Grace Mercurio in the 4th inning and then stayed in at right field. And DePippo gets her on the first one. Down low in the dirt. The Falcons get through this. They'll have DePippo to bat, along with Brandow and Whitaker in the bottom of the 6th. This one's going to pop up and come right in front of our broadcast position, but caught by Emily Durgan.
I was about to duck for cover.
So an F2, and that takes us to the 3rd out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. And we head to the bottom of the 6th. Doubleheader lacrosse action coming up tomorrow afternoon on Fans Only Sports Network. The Cranston East Thunderbolts girls lacrosse taking on the Tiverton Tigers. That game will face off at 5:30 p.m. Cranston West boys lacrosse against the North Kingstown Skippers will follow that face-off time scheduled for 7:15 p.m. Both of those games taking place at the Nest at Cranston West High School. The East Thunderbolts normally play their games at Cranston Stadium. However, there's a scheduling conflict with Stadium tomorrow, so to keep the game on the same day as they are coming very close to the end of the season, they moved the game to West and will play it as a double header. The Cranston West Falcons boys lacrosse team last night against, my apologies, the Charahoe Chargers. My mind blanked for a second. Got through 24 minutes of lacrosse. The game was tied 4-4 at the half, and then the lightning storm began, and so got called the game.
Wow.
And it goes as a tie.
Oh.
Very odd situation to have happen there. But it doesn't affect the playoff situation at all. The Falcons are in the playoffs, but they have two very large games coming up. Obviously, the game tomorrow against North Kingstown, then Monday they'll play at Coventry as we come towards the close of the season. This is the final home game of the regular season for the Falcons softball team as well. They have one more game on the schedule after this, and then, of course, the RIIL playoffs will follow. Falcons sitting at 8-3 right now.
And
on
this
the
game,
season.
and correct me if I'm wrong, but this game was scheduled for Wednesday initially?
This game was scheduled for Wednesday initially, and then it was moved. There is a conflict with the Cranston Tech and Career graduation occurring. And so this one's going to be bounced to shortstop, picked up and not able to leg it out is DePippo. So a 6-3 sends DePippo for the first out of the inning.
I can imagine DePippo's arm is tired.
And it's going to bring Ava Brandow to the plate. Brandow had the 3-run home run back in the first that put the Falcons up 3-0 at the time, and then flew out to the catcher, a pop ball in foul territory back in the third inning. And so this is her third at-bat of the game. Just outside. And they have, on us, switched the pitchers, as I just realized that. Jaden Tanucci firing the balls and strikes now for the Rams.
She was warming up last inning, and she came right in.
1-2 the count to Ava Brandow.
I can imagine Tanucci might stay in there if the Rams find a way to get a lead at the top of the 7th.
That one goes down in the dirt, and Brandow evens the count at 2-2. Brenna Whitaker in the on-deck circle for the Falcons.
I'd be surprised if DePippo comes out for the 7th to finish it off.
It has cooled down to 86 degrees.
Oh, wow. Oh, wonderful. Excuse me, I have to go grab my sweatshirt.
As that one goes down in the dirt, and working a walk out of that is Brandow.
I'm actually not going to be too bad, because I went out to Vegas a couple years ago, and it was like 65 at night. I'm walking around in short sleeve shirts, shorts, and everything, just chilling out. I had people ask me, "Oh my God, do you need a coat? Do you need a winter hat?" I'm like, I don't need any of that. Whitaker there tried to drop down for the bunt as Brandow was going to look to run. I don't ask like 6 times if I needed like a jacket or something. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm excited for seeing what's Arizona in December.
This one, Whitaker is going to lay down the bunt. This time it's going to go to first. Brado's going to get to second, errant throw, and she's going to hold up at second. So Whitaker works the sack bunt. And it's going to be 2 outs in the inning, and Brandow on second, bringing Sophia Crudale to bat. Outside of the plate, painting the line there.
I just found funny, like, I was asking, I told him, I'm from New England. I'm used to this. This is spring weather to me.
Crudale pops one that's going to drop down for a little infield hit as it's going to be over top. Coming home to score is going to be Brandow from second.
Oh, jeez. That's bad miscommunication. That's bad miscommunication. I mean, yeah, you're playing on a very small hop, but the runner's also has about 5 steps ahead too. And the underhand throw is a good idea, just way, way too high.
So E4 is going to put Crudale on first. It's going to bring Brandow home. Plates an insurance runner for the Falcons. Gigi Torres will bat here. And Torres swings through for strike 1. So Torres came in at third base, and by doing so has replaced Cadence Koenig on the batting order.
Cranston West has nobody warming.
All their pitchers, save for Gabriel Acuna, are in the field.
Jeez. I just don't see DePippo pitching the 7th.
If they pull DePippo for the top of the 7th, it will send someone from the circles. That one's going to go low just outside.
It'd send one of them to the bench.
They could resubmit Sam Healy as the flex player.
We've heard a third put Torres in at the pitcher and just flat out take out DePippo for the day.
Yeah.
That's honestly what I'm thinking they should do.
That one's going to bounce, and working out a past third strike is going to be Torres. So Torres gets to first on the passed ball. And that moved Crudale to second. And timeout called by the Rams coach as Emma Petrucci will come to bat. But critical on all of this, the sack bunt by Brenna Whitaker getting Brandow to second, because then on the throwing error on Crudale's interesting pop right in front of the second baseman, infield pop, that throwing error allowed for Brandow, who has speed, to be able to get around from second and plate that insurance run and bring us to 5-3, being that we are sitting here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Yeah, I mean, top of the 7th, it means it'll be the last chance for the Rams to try to score 3 runs to send this to the bottom of the 7th inning.
They would need 2 to tie. 3 would put them ahead. And strike 1 called here to Petrucci. And a throw that went over top of the second baseman and got out into center field has sent Crudale to third. So an error on the catcher there.
Went under the glove of Leahy at second.
And flexing for a second on the second strike. So 2 errors in the inning. Crudale involved in both of them. Outside and called for strike 3. Puts Petrucci down and brings the inning to a close. 1 run on no hits, 2 errors, and 1 left on brings us to the top of the 7th, and it may very well be last licks for the LaSalle Rams. They will have the top of the order with Darian McDonough, Ainsley Leahy, Ariana Rhodey, who was critical for them back in the 5th. McDonough had a leadoff single. Leahy hit a single that brought McDonough to second, and then Ariana Rhodey jacked a 3-run home run. At the time, made the game 4-3 for the Falcons, and that sits the 3 runs that the Rams have scored. Falcons added an insurance run in the last inning. We thank you for tuning in this afternoon on Fans Only Sports Network, www.fansonlysportz.com. Today's game is brought to you by Odyssey Group International and by Prevacus. For more information, visit www.odysseygi.com or www.prevacus.com. Prevacus, a pharmaceutical production of Odyssey Group International, a groundbreaking treatment for concussions, a drug in FDA clinical trials right now that, if administered at the time of occurrence, is designed to be an immediate stop to swelling issues for a concussion and hopefully prevent the early onset situation of CTE, especially in football and hockey players.
I mean, good news, concussions in the NFL are down, which is great news to see.
And this drug is backed by a lot of NFL players. Mark Rippon, Brett Favre,
Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner, thank you, Kurt Warner. That one is hit right to the first baseman, Whitaker, and she steps on the bag for an F3 and the first out of the inning. All part of the board of directors of Odyssey GI and Prevacus, and this whole situation itself was started by the Salle family.
Yep.
So, a lot of big name players being a part of this, and this one's going to be foul tipped by Leahy for strike 1.
Junior Salle, one of the players that deserved a ring. He definitely deserved a ring.
Without question.
It's a shame he never got one.
Even came to New England and had an opportunity, and the Giants got in the way.
We don't talk about that one. Speaking of big games, Bruins got a big one tonight.
This one's going to go right to the shortstop, Crudale. F6, 2 outs in the inning. Brings Ariana Rhodey to the plate in last licks for the Rams. And DePippo, despite all of her struggles,
she labored through the 4th and 5th innings
on the potential podium of a complete game victory. Rhodey pops this one in space. Catching it is Whitaker. Brenna Whitaker rolls one, and she gets the F3 to end the game. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on. Falcons win 5-3.
Well, it's capped off early on by a 3-run home run back in the first inning that really set the tone for the game. And the Falcons, they took the lead in the first and never gave it back.
Yeah, it was the first inning home run by Ava Brandow, a 3-run shot that started it after the single by Emily Bassett to lead off the game. And then it was the hit by pitch, a throwing error, and then that brought Emily Bissett around. That got it to 4-3, and then all sorts of consternation and errors. A pass ball, 2 errors, a muffed sac fly, all in the 6th inning that plated the insurance run for the Falcons and got us to 5-3. As you see the Falcons having their post-game chat out there in the field. For the Falcons, it's going to be 5 runs on 4 hits, no errors on the day. They leave 3 on base. 3 runs, 7 hits with 2 errors and 6 left on base for the LaSalle Rams.
What killed the LaSalle Rams was leaving the bases loaded in the 4th inning. They had a brilliant chance to really get back into the game early on, really get DePippo on her heels, but DePippo, an inning that she labored through, but she was able to get out of it without a run scoring, and then she labored again in the 5th inning, then shut down innings in the 6th and 7th.
That'll do it for us from the Brayton Athletics Complex here in Cranston, Rhode Island. That is the conclusion of home regular season action for the Cranston West Falcons. Of course, they have one more game to go on the road and then the RIIL playoffs to follow. For more information, you can stay tuned to Fans Only Sports, www.fansonlysportz.com for playoff schedule information. Fans Only Sports Network will be back on air tomorrow afternoon with lacrosse action. Cranston East girls lacrosse taking on the Tiverton Tigers, and that will be then followed by the Cranston West boys team taking on North Kingstown. All the action starts at 5:30 p.m. right here on Fans Only Sports. For Nick LeBlanc, I'm Matt Gillis. Thank you so much for tuning in this afternoon. Good night.